न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोरधिकं तपः।
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Dhyayamodhavalavakuntharavatim tejomayam nashtikim Nigdhapangavilokinim Dagavatim Mandasmita Srimukim Valsalyamritavarshinim Samuduram Sankirtanalapinim Shamangim Mavdasikta Suktim Amritanandatmikamishwarim Gum Gurubhyo Namaha Amriteshri Namaha Om Gam Ganapati Namaha Mahasrate Namaha Om. My infinite prostrations at the lotus seat of my Sadguru Sri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, Universal Teacher, Universal Mother. My humble pranams to all Amma's beloved children listening to this talk. This week we have the episode entitled as The Divine Headmaster. We know Headmaster is in the school, the principal is called the Headmaster or Headmistress. So here what we mean by Headmaster is the Amma, the Divine Headmaster. She is the master's called the Headmaster. All of us have heads, and she is the master of all heads. She is the motivating force. All knowledges belong to her. That is the meaning. And especially because this week first of all, let me wish all Amma's beloved children a very happy Onam, and also our humble prayers to all the families whose near and dear ones have departed, and therefore our prayers to all those souls also. So being Onam, we know, or the Onam celebration, it's a festival, it's a coming together of all families. And here we say, especially we start with the episode of the Mahabali. We say that when we go, we travel on the roads, we can see Mahabali everywhere with a big stomach. So the Mahabali, why do we welcome Mahabali to our houses? The symbolic meaning is Mahabali is one who has offered his head. We know that we need not narrate the story. The first step, the Vamana measured the earth. The second step, he measured the entire heavens. And for the third step, Vamana asked Mahabali, where should I place my third step? Without any hesitation, Mahabali said, please place your third step on my head. And therefore it was Mahabali who offered his head, and that is the wisest thing for all of us to do. And that is why we welcome Mahabali, because he is the very embodiment of surrender, or Purna Samarpanam, the total surrender, Samarpanam. So that is the meaning. So we will talk about few devotees who had offered their heads to the divine, to Mahavishnu, to the Supreme Being, because Sahastra Shirisha Purushaha Sakatraksha Sakatrapat. So he says Sakatra Shirisha Purushaha. The Supreme Being has 1,000 heads, means it will be terrible if he has, like the Ravana with 10 heads is terrible. If the Supreme Being has 1,000 heads, it is can't imagine. It only means that all heads belong to him, all knowledge, all intelligence belong to him. That is the meaning. And therefore we offer our everything. I That is the offering of the head. That's the meaning. That is regarding Mahabali. And now we come to second person. We also know the story of Namadeva. We know the story very well. How Namadeva, he was a bit egoistic, because as a child, Bhagavan Sri Krishna used to come and play with him. And when he grew up, he was doing puja in the local temple, and all devotees, they used to come and do namaskara to Namadeva. And when we know the story, Jnaneshwara and his brothers and sister, they did not do namaskara. Namadeva became very angry, and then Jnaneshwara, they planned a meeting of all Mahatmas. And we know the story that the Gora, Kumbhagora, the potter, he came and he tested the Jnaneshwara said, oh Gora, you are a potter. So the potter will tap the pot, and you can see how baked it is, how good it is. So the Jnaneshwara said, oh Gora, we are all sitting here. You tap and see which are the pots which are fully baked. And therefore, the Kumbhagora, he started tapping the head of everybody, and these are all baked. And but when he came to Namadeva, Namadeva became very angry, and then the Kumbhagora said, this pot is not baked. And Namadeva got very angry. He walked out of the meeting, and he went straight to Bhagavan Krishna and said, Bhagavan Krishna, they have insulted me. They said my head is not baked. I am not mature. Sri Krishna Bhagavan said, yes, what Gora said is true. You are not mature because you don't have a guru. There you go to the Avantiya Naganath, and there you will meet your guru. I think you know the story. We did not elaborate. See, so he went to the village called Avantiya Naganath or Avantiya Naganath, and there, when he entered the Shiva temple, he saw an old man sleeping with the foot on the Shivalinga, and Namadeva got very angry. He shouted to the old man, how dare you keep your feet on the Shivalinga? The old man said, I am very sorry, I am very weak, you please move my feet. So when Namadeva moved the old man's feet and started to keep it somewhere, there also Shivalinga appeared. So Namadeva went on moving the feet. Wherever he tried to keep it on the ground, the Shivalinga appeared. We know no story. And finally, Namadeva, he understood that this is the Guru, Vishobha Kechar, this is my Guru. And then finally, he sees there is no place. Shivalingas everywhere. Now where can I keep this old man's feet? So the old man asked, where can I keep my feet? Then Namadeva with humility said, I know that you are my Guru, and therefore you keep your feet on my head. He also offered his head also. Like the Mahabali, the second person we know, who bowed down and offered his head, means offering his individuality, offering his ego. And then when he did that, he saw, instead of seeing Bhagavan Krishna as only one form, the Namadeva also started seeing Bhagavan Krishna in every living being, every being in this universe. So he came back, and then the part which we do not know, that I will narrate. Whatever I said now, all of you know very well. The last part, many of us do not know. That part is when it was time for Namadeva to depart from this world. The devotees asked Namadeva, "O Maharaj, where shall we keep your body? Where shall we keep your samadhi, your body?" And Namadeva, with all humility, he said, "You keep my body beneath the steps leading to the temple. Keep my body under the steps leading to the temple. When the devotees go to the temple, when they climb the steps, let their feet touch my head, and I be blessed." A person who was very angry because the people did not do namaskara, now he has become so humble. He says, let devotees' feet touch my head. That is the greatest of the Guru. The Guru can give us so much humility out of true knowledge, that we become extremely humble. That is what we call as offering our head. So she is the headmaster. So the headmaster of Mahabali, headmaster of the great saint Namadeva. Now, one more episode I happened to read. It's very interesting. They say Ganesha, Ganapati. You know that we know that story also we know very well. Parvati Devi, she had created Ganapati, very attractive young boy, and she said, "You guard the entrance. No, don't allow anybody to enter. When I am inside, I am taking bath. Don't allow anybody." So the Ganapati stood there with this. She was very powerful because she was created by Parvati. So when Nandi appeared, he stopped. Nandi, Bringi, and all the Bhudaganas, he stopped them. They could not, and he was very powerful. And when Shiva himself came, Bhagavan Shiva came, Ganapati stopped Shiva also. He said, "You cannot go inside." And we know the story. It is a divine drama arranged by our mother Parvati Devi and Shiva. It's only a drama. So Bhagavan Shiva knows everything. So we know that the Bhagavan Shiva cut off the head of Ganapati, and then he replaced with the elephant's head. So it is symbolic meaning. So one meaning is that Ganapati stands in front of Shiva, and he said, inside he is saying, "Oh Father, a mother has created me. I am your son. Parvati, my mother, is created me. Now you make me complete, because father and mother, only creation is complete only when there is a mother and father also." So inside he is saying, "Father, if something is some defect is there, you remove the defect." So what the defect? The symbolic meaning is listened carefully. Parvati represents the creation, the nature, including the personality, the ego, mano, buddhi, ahankara, chittani naham. So the entire creation, along with the feeling of the I, the ego, the intellect, etc. It is the human intellect which does not recognize the presence of God. It is the power of reason who will try to reason that there is no God. It is the atheistic intellect which does not allow God to enter creation, and therefore Bhagavan Shiva cut off the head of Ganapati and he placed with the head of wisdom. And there we can understand that now he understood that the creation and creator are one. The creator is not separate from the creation. The creation is not separate from the creator. They are both one. That is symbolic meaning. But the Ganapati was the third person to offer his head, and he got a better head, the head of wisdom, and not a head which denies the existence of God. It is the intellect, the arrogant intellect, which denies the existence of God, and therefore Shiva removed that arrogant intellect, and then he placed it with a head of not only intelligence but also of wisdom. That is the third head offered, the headmaster. So the first one is Mahabali. The supreme Amma is the headmaster of Mahabali. Amma is the headmaster of Namadeva. Amma is the headmaster of Ganesha also. Now we can see one important point I want to discuss here is there is a doubt. We know that sometimes our cinemas exaggerate. But these story books also exaggerate. They say that Vamana placed his foot on Mahabali's head and he pushed him down to Patala. Mahabali was not pushed down to Patala. We know there are the 14 worlds. First we have the Bhur, Bhuva, Swa, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satyam. These are the 7 heavens. Then we have the 7 hells also. We say Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patala. Patala is the lowest. So Mahabali was not pushed down to Patala. Mahabali was pushed to Atala, Vitala, Sutala. Sutala means good place. Su always means good. So he was pushed down to Sutala. So Sutala, there he had the and also Bhagavan Mahavishnu said that you have total surrender, Mahabali. Therefore, I will guard your entrance. Bhagavan Vishnu said, I will be always at your door, so nobody can come inside and defeat you. Although you can say that after many years, when Ravana conquered the entire universe, when he went to Sutala, he could not conquer Sutala because there Mahavishnu was standing at the door with the chakra. So that we know very well. So the Sutala, it's a hell. So we know prisons. Director General of Police, DGP of prisons. So he has a very comfortable quarters. That first we should know. So he is not suffering. So the Mahabali is like, he is a Director General of Police of prisons, and he had a Sutala. He had a very comfortable quarters, and then it is said that Mahabali will be the next Indra in the next Kalpa. That's what we have to understand, and therefore we can never say that a person on whose head Bhagavan Vishnu, divine feet, he had kept his feet on his head. How can such a person have adogadi? Adogadi means the downfall. How can that be? Mahavishnu placed his head on Mahabali's head. Such a person is blessed. He is not a cursed person. So therefore we have to understand Mahavishnu blessed Mahabali by pushing him down to a place for the time being till his ego is removed. Then he will be elevated to another. In the next yuga, he will be elevated to the post of Indra. That is what the Puranas say. And therefore that's the thing. And again we can say the real offering, when I say the Shirasa Namami, I say, or Manasa Smarami, I think of you with my mind, or Shirasa Namami, I bow down my head. The bowing down of the head is not the physical bowing down. You know, in the Ramayana, the Ravana did a lot of tapas. Even after a lot of tapas, Bhagavan Shiva refused to appear before him. Therefore, Ravana started cutting his head one by one, the said offering. That is not the offering. That is the offering of an ego. He wants something very selfish. That is not the offering. He went on cutting his heads and offering to the fire. He offered many heads. And finally, Bhagavan Shiva gave darshan. I blessed him also. But we see after that, Ravana lost everything. So that is because he did not have proper surrender. His attitude of sacrifice was not proper. It was an attitude, the offering was made out of selfishness. He wanted power. So that is the wrong attitude of Ravana, we can say. Again, we can see we are talking about the heads, the headmaster. She is Amma is the master of all heads. Mahabali, then we have Namadeva, now we have the Ravana. Again, in the Devi Mahatmya, she has cut off many heads. Mahishasura, Bandasura, Shumba, Nishumba. So many heads they cut off. So these are all symbolism of egoism. She can cut off only the egoism. That is all we can see. So in Kali, Mahakali also we can see Mahakali wearing a garland of human skulls. It looks very frightening. She is wearing the garland of human skulls. It only means, the skull means there is a human head. That means all knowledges belong to her. That's the only meaning. It is not that she has to deliberately kill people and then wearing like Angulimala wearing the little finger. It's not the meaning. It only symbolizes that human skull, the mala, it symbolizes that all heads, she is the headmaster. All heads belong to her, all knowledges belong to her, all intelligence belong to her. Again, coming to Bhasmasura as another person, he say the Bhasmasura got the boon that if I touch somebody's head, he should be reduced to ashes. So that's what's the meaning? Bhasmasura is one who can reduce, who had the power to reduce everything to ashes by a mere touch. Bhasmasura is again the human intellect. It is the human intellect who will say all these are atoms. When we go to the temple and we show him the beautiful vigraha of Bhagavan, we will say Bhagavan, the intellect will say it's are atoms. These are all atoms only. So he will reduce everything to atoms. That is the meaning of Bhasmasura, reducing everything to ashes. And therefore, that arrogant intellect should be completely removed. Therefore, the Mahavishnu came in the form of Mohini, and he destroyed that arrogant intellect which does not understand that everything is God. He will deny the existence of God. So that Bhasmasura is again the human intellect. Therefore, the point is, when I started inquiring, what is this? This is all atoms. What is this? This are all whatever object I see in this universe, they're all atoms. Now I will never inquire who is this I. So aham koto bhavati shinavatam. The Ramana Maharshi says to inquire who is this I. So that is why the Mohini made Bhasmasura touch his own head. So when I start inquiring who can be this I, the I completely disappears, because this I is only an appearance. That is the beginning. Mohini made the Bhasmasura touch his own head, and when he touched his own head, he was reduced to ashes. Therefore, the inquiry, what is the outside world we have inquired? Now the inquiry should be, who am I? Who is this I? When I inquire in this world, this is a asat. This is a false entity. This is only an appearance, and therefore that ego is completely destroyed. That is the meaning we have to understand. So we can say not only Onam, all festivals are a coming together, and coming together we are worshipping God. So what happens is that we have told many times, the utmost we can, by our positive collective positive thoughts, we can create a very peaceful, conducive atmosphere. We can live peacefully. So that is the main purpose of a festival. So here also we can see when we come together and we sit together and we chant together, our all thoughts are all completely purified, and that purified atmosphere, we become dharmic individuals. So you can say, well, one example I can see, we can tell you, you can see a wall. What is the unit of a wall? It's a brick. If a brick is of good quality, then we can say that wall is a strong wall. If all the bricks are good quality, that wall becomes a very strong wall. So the strength of the wall depends upon the quality of the bricks, which is individual. In the same way, we are a nation. What is the nation? India, we call nation. A nation is not just a geographic. When we say Bharat or when we say India, it's not just a geographical area. That geographical area plus the total population, that is what we call as a nation. So the nation, the unit of every nation is the individual. If the individual is good, then we become a prosperous nation. If the individuals are bad and selfish, then that nation will never prosper. Like the example of if the bricks are of good quality, the wall becomes a strong wall. In the same way, when if we individuals we are all good, selfless, dharmic, then together we constitute a very prosperous nation, a dharmic nation, prosperous nation. That is the meaning we can say. And therefore, we can see in Bhagavad Gita, there's a verse which says, the Bhagavan tells Arjuna, you see, Arjuna, these are the good quality. He says, Amanitam, Adambitam, Ahimsa, Chantihi, Arjavam. So we are talking about how an individual should be. The Bhagavan uses the word Arjavam. I have already explained this some time back. I remember well. You may also remember. The word Arjavam means a straight line between conviction, speech, and action. What is my conviction? That alone I speak, and what I speak, that alone I do. That is straight line between conviction, speech, and action. That is called Arjavam, and from that Arjavam, the word Arjuna has come. And therefore, we say, my conviction, my conviction may be wrong, because I am immature. I do not know how should I think. I should be trained to think. Therefore, my teachers in school and college, so in Gurukulam, we are taught not only the worldly subjects, we are also taught spirituality. In spirituality, we are taught that everything is, whatever we see is God. He is the different forms of God, and therefore we have the conviction that everything is supreme being. Therefore, I learn to see the supreme being in all beings, and therefore I am very humble, and I want to serve the entire world. That is the conviction. I want to serve the conviction. I want to serve the world. I look upon the entire creation as different forms of Amma. I want to serve the world. That conviction. Therefore, it says, they say therefore my conviction should be clear, correct. What is my conviction? Again, the Bhagavad Gita in 16th chapter, I think it's verse 24, it says, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. Let the Shastras be your deciding factor. Let Shastras be your guiding factor. The Shastras are the divine words of great sages, or the great guru, all great spiritual masters. Our Amma also, whatever Amma says is a Shastra. The Nirgadam yad Gurur Bhaktarat Sarvam Shastram Taduchate. Whatever comes out of the Guru's mouth is Shastra. So we have the greatest Guru in the world now. So our conviction should be clear. Otherwise, we can make mistakes. Therefore, right thinking, right conviction, and then that becomes right speech and right action. That is what we call that individual becomes a very selfless, dharmic individual, and then in that way, all individuals in this nation, in the country, their conviction is correct, their speech is correct, and then their actions are correct. They are dharmic and selfless. That is the purpose of a festival. When we come to festival and we chant together, our mind and heart becomes pure. We become selfless, dharmic, and then a collection of the totality of positive thoughts that creates a very positive, prosperous world. That is what we have to understand. And therefore, we can see when the Shatras at the Pramanam, otherwise, what will happen. So say Ravana had 10 heads. So there's no conviction. What does it mean? Ravana had 10 heads. He had too many thoughts, too many opinions. So it's one head will say, I want this. Second head, no, I want this. So different opinions, different decisions. Opinions and decisions in one person, so that he does not know what to do. Finally he cannot decide what should I do. So many opinions are there, the thoughts are there. So that we can say, if somebody asks you, can you describe Ravana in 2 words? You can tell him, Ravana is a person of conflict. Ravana was a person of conflict. A conflict means, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? So that is the conflict. Therefore, instead of that, Arjuna is a person of integrity. Ravana was a man of conflict. Bhagavan Sri Rama was a person of integrity, where they thought, clear thinking, right speech, right action. And therefore, that is the purpose of the festival. So let us pray to Amma collectively. Let us come and let us pray together for ourselves, for our family, for the entire world, so that as Amma asked some time back, can we create a Ramaraja on this earth? So we can say, with Amma's grace, it is possible. We can create a Ramaraja. Ramaraja means where all citizens, they were all completely focused on Rama. They had only one thought: we want to make, we will all obey, we all respect Rama, and we will all serve others instead of being selfish. Such a nation is possible under the grace of a Sadguru like Amma. So let us pray to Amma to make us totally selfless, totally dharmic, and give us the spirit of total surrender, samarpanam, and in that way we can together create a very peaceful, joyful, prosperous nation. So let us conclude with a very important point I missed. I should have said this long time back. This point is the same. We, on Onam, we have this custom of welcoming Mahabali. So we welcome Mahabali. Let us welcome Mahabali, the great king, to our house. The important point is, we say Mahabali. So there are 2 meanings for the word Mahabali. One meaning is when you say it is long Bali, it means one who's very strong. Mahabali. Strong is Mahabali, one who is very strong. Usually it refers to Balarama, the elder brother of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. But here it's in Mahabali. Who is the Mahabali? The ego is the Mahabali. And when Vamana comes, Mahavishnu comes, and Mahabali offers, then that becomes Mahabali, short Bali. That Bali means offering. So the long Mahabali, the ego, Mahabali, becomes Mahabali, the great offering. And what is the greatest offering is the offering of the ego. Everything else belongs to Bhagavan. So this, when we receive Mahabali into our house, we should know he is the very symbol of Purna Samarpanam, surrender. And when we surrender, so the Bhagavan is always such a person. So when Mahabali enters our house, then what happens? He is the person, the greatest devotee. Then Mahavishnu also comes with him. You have to understand that. We are welcoming, when we are welcoming Mahabali, we are welcoming Mahavishnu also. And when Mahavishnu comes into our house, certainly Mahavishnu's Pativrata, Mahalakshmi also, she will also follow him. So Aishwaryam comes, prosperity comes. And then not only that, when the Mahavishnu comes, the devotees, the Garuda comes. Garuda is the symbolic of strength. So nothing can stop him. The symbol of the divine strength, who can remove all obstacles. Nothing can stop Garuda. So Garuda comes, and then who comes? Narada also comes. Again the great devotee comes, and again comes the Vishnu. Hanuman comes. Therefore, when Mahabali enters our house, Mahavishnu Bhagavan comes, Mother Lakshmi comes, then with that Garuda comes, and Narada comes, Devashi Narada comes, and last Hanuman also comes. All these devotees we are welcoming. When we are welcoming Mahabali into our house, we are welcoming all these divine powers. So let us remember that with this attitude, let us welcome Mahabali. Now, so we will conclude this talk. I offer these words at the lotus feet of Amma. Om Amritageetananda. Om Lokaha Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sri Gurubhyo Namah Hari Om.
न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोरधिकं तपः